Hello grade 8 learners, it's me Teacher Gon from the Laguna National High School, Sampaguita Annex, East Coast Division Office of Laguna. Last week, we have studied about the axiomatic structure of mathematical system, particularly the postulate and theorems in geometry. And for this week, we will try to learn and understand about triangle congruence. For the most essential learning competency, we will try to illustrate triangle congruence. When can we say that the two triangles are congruent? Triangles are said to be congruent if their vertices can be paired so that corresponding sides are congruent and corresponding angles are congruent. Given this triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF, these two triangles are congruent if it has three pairs of congruent angles, namely angle A is congruent to angle B is congruent to angle E, angle C is congruent to angle F, and also it has three pairs of congruent sides, namely side AC is congruent to side DF, side CB is congruent to side FE, and lastly, side BA is congruent to side ED. To broaden your understanding about the topic, in the engagement, you will answer learning task number 1, in which you will complete the triangle congruence between the congruent angles and congruent sides of the given triangles. In learning task number 2, you will illustrate that the two triangles are congruent by putting markings into its corresponding congruent parts. In learning task number 3, you will draw two congruent triangles by putting names and markings on its corresponding congruent parts. For the assimilation, you will showcase your creativity by pasting several cutouts of congruent triangles to create a picture or design. Here is Liam Ann Hementiza to showcase her outputs in the week 3 of Mathematics 8.
Good day everyone, my name is Liam Ann Hementiza from Adelina 1 National High School, Sampaguita Annex, Grade 8 Mahayhay. Before we start, what do we mean by the word congruent? Congruent means the same shape and same size. How do we determine if two triangles are congruent? If two angles and the included side of one triangle are equal to the corresponding angles and side of another triangle, the triangles are congruent. Now, here are my answers in the learning tasks. Learning task number 1. Complete the triangle's congruence. We are asked to prove the congruence of these two triangles.
Angle A is congruent to angle D. Angle B is congruent to angle C. Angle E is congruent to angle E because of the reflexive property. Side AB is congruent to side BC. Side BE is congruent to side DE. And side EA is congruent to side ED. Therefore, triangle ABE is congruent to triangle DCE.
Learning task number 2. Illustrate that the two triangles are congruent by putting marks on its angles and sides. Learning task number 3. Using the given below, draw the congruent triangles by putting names and the identical markings on the congruent parts of the triangles.
As you can see, angle M is congruent to angle K, angle T is congruent to angle L, angle B is congruent to angle X, side MB is congruent to side KX, side MT is congruent to side KL, and side BT is congruent to side XL. Therefore, Triangle MTB is congruent to triangle KLX. Here is my work in the assimilation part, wherein I have to showcase my creativity by pasting several cutouts colored congruent triangles in a self-made design.
Here is my work in the assimilation part, wherein I have to showcase my creativity by pasting several cutouts colored congruent triangles in a self-made design. I understand that the triangles must have exactly the same 3 sides and exactly the same 3 angles for it to be congruent. I realize that the angles and sides may not be in the same position, they are still congruent.
In the week 4 of Mathematics 8, you will discover and learn about the different postulates with regards to triangle congruence. So stay connected to Pivot TV, your quick guide to learning. Again, it's me, Math Teacher Gon, ang nagsasabi ng maraming salamat at bye-bye!